Okay, let's get into this. Today, we're doing a deep dive into something, well, pretty remarkable, really. It's an account from sources you've shared about someone having a huge life transformation and incredibly fast.
Yeah, that's right. We're looking at this testimonial from a client, Ben, who apparently experienced a complete 180, a total life shift, supposedly, in just about 2 weeks.
2 weeks, and here's the bit that really grabs you, isn't it? According to the source material, he didn't do the usual things like no journaling, no intense healing sessions, not even consciously trying to, raise his vibration.
Exactly. The source claims the catalyst was, well, simpler. Just watching some content and hearing one particular sentence. That's it?
One sentence. Okay, so our mission here is to unpack Ben's story as it's told in the source. Dig into this core idea and try to understand how, according to this account, it could trigger such big results so quickly. You ready?
Absolutely. Let's explore it. So Ben, according to the source, had been dabbling in manifestation for maybe 2, 3 years, doing affirmations, the usual practices you hear about. But he felt he wasn't really getting anywhere, no real momentum.
Right. Stuck. And then he hears this specific line.
That's the pivot point in the story. The line, as the source frames it, was essentially this. There are two types of people in life. There are winners and there are victims.
Simple, but clearly potent for him. He called it a light bulb moment, apparently.
That's how the source describes it. It seems Ben suddenly saw he had a very clear choice. Keep running that victim script, or just decide not to. And, within the logic of this source, deciding not to be a victim inherently makes you a winner.
And that single decision, framed as happening in like a second, is what supposedly kicked off the 180 shift.
That's the claim. Within about 4 weeks, Ben says he quit his job, started his own company, which apparently just took off. He talks about this surge of opportunities, personal life, business, everything. Calls it the best month of his life.
It's fascinating. How does the source explain why this works so fast, without all the usual techniques?
Well, emphasis isn't on adding more techniques. It's about an internal subtraction, or maybe a refusal, refusing to be a victim. Ben apparently said this made him feel untouchable, like he'd finally set the terms for his own reality.
Untouchable. So how does that feeling, that refusal, connect to things just coming to him or getting into that flow state the source mentions?
The argument presented is that dropping the victim mindset stops the mental chatter, the overthinking. It clears the way, so opportunities and inspired actions can just arrive naturally. It's presented as accessing this effortless state, almost like flow, because you're not blocking yourself with victim-based doubts. Ben even mentioned, apparently, that he didn't feel he had to do an awful lot to get these results in that month, which reinforces that idea, doesn't it? Less struggle.
Right. And this connects to another point in the source about big shifts often being a 1-second decision. It's not about dipping your toe in, but going all in.
Asha.
100%.
Exactly. The source uses that analogy. You're either pregnant or you're not. There's no 99% commitment in this view. That total 100% commitment tied to rejecting the victim identity is what supposedly shuts down the inner conflict and hesitation.
And the source suggests this decisive shift is actually bringing you back to your natural state, the real you.
Yeah, they link it to authenticity. They even bring up babies, how they just demand and expect their needs to be met effortlessly. No self-doubt learned yet. So from this perspective, this rapid change is about reclaiming that innate power by tuning into your authentic self, which, the source claims, becomes possible once you just get the victim mentality out of the way.
So it's finding something that resonates, like that sentence did for Ben, and then just committing fully. And that's when fear supposedly drops away and things start moving.
That seems to be the core message from this account, that nothing was stopping Ben but his own internal framework, and the key was that decisive choice plus total commitment.
Okay, so let's recap Ben's journey here, based on the source. He felt stuck despite trying things for years. Then he hears this winner versus victim idea, makes a 1-second decision to choose winner by refusing victim, commits 100%.
And bam, within weeks, quits his job, starts a successful company, life transforms. No complex techniques, just that internal shift. And this refusal is linked to feeling untouchable, stopping the overthinking, clearing the mind.
Which lets him tune into his authentic self, that natural receiving state, like the baby analogy the source uses, accessing flow where things just happen.
Precisely. It all seems to stem from that initial absolute choice.
So for you listening, it's worth considering the potential power described here in this specific source material of a simple but decisive mindset shift.
Absolutely. And that brings us to a final thought to leave you with, building on this deep dive.
If choosing to operate as a winner, By completely refusing the victim mentality and committing 100% can unlock such rapid change, as claimed in this source, by tuning into your authentic self.
Then what limiting belief or maybe hesitant approach could you choose to abandon 100% right now? And what might that unlock for you? Maybe even for those you influence, like your children, something to think about.